Welcome to my crib. Come on inside. A little bit different today in this episode. I thought I'll do a full property tour. I've had a lot of people ask me like, hey, can you show us around the property? Some noisy birds. Show us around the property properly. We still don't have our bearings. So what I'm going to do is do a complete walk around all the major parts of the land and the property, and then show the main living areas in the house as well, because I haven't really been inside the house yet. I'll show you through. I'm also going to, there's a lot for us to do right over the next few years, and I wanted to kind of just give you some of our ideas and what we have planned and what we're thinking. Nothing set in stone, so if you have any opinions or any ideas, I'd love to hear them. So I'm going to show you through. Start at the driveway or at the front. As you probably know if you've watched any other videos, the property is pretty overgrown. As you can see, this front paddock here isn't. Like, there's lots of areas that isn't, but more or less the whole perimeter of the 2+ acres is overgrown and needs to be cut back. So there is a lot of work for me to do. And I guess that's going to be a lot of the transformations, is just getting the property looking nice and cleared. But let's start. So you can see this is the front across the road. It's really nicely lined with trees and stuff, but we definitely want to like clear it out and thin it out so it's a lot more tasteful. So this is driveway leading up, but we've got this sign that's very old. We're not sure which owners put this in. We have no idea what echo means, but we're going to take that down because it doesn't mean anything to us. We're going to come up with our own name for the homestead. So that's something that is going to change. And as you can see from the front, it's fully fenced, which is nice. You call that a garden? I don't know. The lining of trees is really overgrown. It's been unkept for quite a number of years. Trees nearly touching the power lines. I think this here can look really, really nicely. It just needs to be maintained and cut back a little bit, but I think it will turn out really nicely. Probably one of the last things we'll get to, because up there in the homestead is more of a priority. So now coming up in the driveway, we really love this feature of the property. You can see it's all lined with trees. Driveway needs some work, which I'll just talk about in a sec. But yeah, we've got quite a bit of space up in the driveway. As you can see, some trees and stuff, some clearing I've been doing. You can see this front paddock here is quite nice. But yeah, unfortunately, the driveway's seen better days, and hopefully next week we're actually going to start on the driveway. Because it's been just left for probably a decade. At one point it was really nice. It was, the whole width of the driveway, but over the years it's rutted out from the cars and stuff. So we're going to fully do the driveway. It's going to be a really big job, but it needs to be done, especially when it's raining. It's pretty difficult for cars that are not full drives to get up. We've got these beautiful trees. This was red, like all the leaves, just before it started dropping off. We will eventually put like lighting and stuff all the way up the driveway. Now I'm about halfway up the driveway here, and you can see all these old passion fruit vines, which is really nice, and there's quite a lot of passion fruits on there. So coming up towards the shipping container. So a lot of people want to see what's inside the shipping container. So let's open it up and have a look, eh? The owners left it here and didn't really know what they had in it. So let's open it up. It just took me like 5 minutes to get this first door open. For an anticlimactic. Oh, it stinks in here, eh? I think it's seen better days, this thing. Oh. There we go. We were hoping when we opened this thing to be gold or something in it, or something exciting at least. There is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 washing baskets. Bit of timber. It stinks. There's a bit of mold in here. A lot of spiders. Ugh. A shelf. It's filled with mold. A rotten floor. That's about it. Initially, we're thinking with this, like, it'd be so cool to turn this into like a little space, like a living space. At least we've got it for storage. I don't know about the condition. I'll have to speak to some people that know more about shipping containers, and like this appears to be really rusty. And then we thought, you know, clearing it out, it needs to be aired out because it really stinks. There's a lot of mold you can see on the floor and stuff, there's mold. But once it's all cleaned and nice, might need to get some venting or something in here. We could use it like for food storage and stuff when we're preserving, canning stuff. Bit of like doomsday prepping. We could have shelves and all food in here. Any other kind of machinery or stuff I guess that we get could be stored in here. But unfortunately, no gold, no treasures in here. There is another idea that we have with this or something similar, just in this front paddock here as well, which let's go and chat about now. So obviously the property is sloped, but where the shipping container is, and when you come into the front paddock, it's been leveled out. Previous owners to us, they had goats, I believe, and these were the spaces for the goats, the shelters. But this front paddock is fenced and gated, so it can be locked up and closed. So good for animals. So what we were thinking from this area up here is, because it is flat and effectively a really good space for a dwelling, that we could put like an Airbnb dwelling up here, whether it's the shipping container, which I don't think it's going to be suitable in the condition it's in, or actually building something up here. Probably will need to be either on wheels or demountable, movable. But up here, I've got access straight up to the driveway and it's closable. We can make obviously it feel a lot more private. But when you look out here, I'll show you the view. Like, it is beautiful. You get and on a clearer day, you've got like the landscape of all the mountains and stuff, and it is really private. You know, your thoughts on the kind of Airbnb idea? We'll do obviously a lot of landscaping, and just imagine there's a house there. We'll obviously build like a really nice deck that overlooks all that sort of stuff. Also, we'd have like a really nice seating area here with like a fire pit, and I think it'd be a really cool space. The questions in my Q&A episode, last video, is do we plan on generating income from the property? And that could be a really good one. We have looked around the area and there is 3 to 5 Airbnbs already, and it seems like they do quite well. So yeah, definitely something that we've got in the back of our minds and seeing if we can turn into a reality. But while I'm here, let's actually show you what is here right now. And then these shelters are here. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you would have seen that in this one. It was actually the green slide that you'll see later up in the back. It was just randomly in this little shed. Yeah, really good size here. Anyone know what this is? I'll stand next to it in a sec, but it is massive and it's just a big eyesore. Don't think it bears any fruit or anything like that. Although there is fruit in it, we have been told it's not edible fruit. So we are planning on completely removing that. Look how much space it takes up, like it's quite huge. But then moving through here, we've actually got 3 avocado trees. They're all different variations of avocado too, which is cool. See, avocado. This one's a mega avocado tree. It's got the biggest avocados on it. Maybe Jade's picked them all. Thanks, Jade. Okay, I can't find one one on there, but there was about 5 or 6 and they were massive. They were like bigger than my hand. They're in the kitchen now, so maybe I'll show you after. But that's awesome to have avocado, well, 3 avocado trees in here. This front paddock, that's an old church. I think every once a month on a Sunday, they have a service, which is pretty cute. Their fence line just stops there. So what are your thoughts? What would you do with this space here? We're thinking Airbnb possibly, goats, a milk cow, dairy cow, that'd be pretty cool. We're in no rush, obviously, but it is a really cool space. My son rides his dirt bike, motorbike around here. I want to get a dirt bike or a quad or something like that to ride around with him. But he just loves also just jumping on the ride on and sitting on my lap and riding it around, which is cool. But yeah, look at the size of this thing. It's giant. Huge. So yeah, I think removing that's going to just open up the space heaps more as well. Here's the view from up here. But I'm sure I'll talk a million times about it. All this fence line, the whole of the way up to the end of our boundary line is just overgrown. I need to thin it and clear it out. And then we got this side of the driveway where the shipping container is. You can see my trailer's parked there. We also thought we could put like a bit of a carport or something off the side of that if we keep the shipping container there. There's a lot of space here. And then coming up this way, we've cleared a lot of trees in this area and it already looks a lot better. I've got to obviously start removing all this sort of stuff as well. But this could be area for more garden beds, for the veggie garden, greenhouse even, although it might be, these trees might be blocking the sun a bit too much. Now coming just up from that front paddock, we've got this area which we're turning into a mini fruit orchard. In some of the previous episodes I've shown you what fruit trees we have, but you can see here we're going to try and plant some more fruit trees as well. So this is where the storm pulled down a tree, but you can see that's citrus, orange, and then we've got more citrus, some other ones that I've planted. We've got mulberry, pomegranate, Brazilian cherry, tangelo, blood orange. This big tree is a chestnut tree. When we first purchased the property, it had hundreds of chestnuts on the ground. And then we've got a bigger orange tree there that for the season now, but we've been eating so many oranges from it. And then we've got the veggie garden. So lots of possibilities around here as well. In this front section, we've also got lychee there, the Brazilian cherry, and then we have our compost area, which I've done a few videos on. We built this, which is great. We've started composting. We've got the chicken coop. And then now I'd love to talk about the veggie garden. So we've got the veggie garden, and as you've seen from the other videos, it was overgrown. It was nearly higher than the fence. But since doing it, a lot of you guys have actually commented on how small the space is and trying to feed the family of 4, that I probably want to extend it. And I've taken that to heart, and it's exactly what I think I'm going to do. So my plans are, roughly speaking, is to essentially get rid of this side fence and then extend it out. I'm not sure, enough to put at least double the amount of garden beds that are already here. And then instead of just putting the wire back in, I thought of putting some raised garden beds as the side perimeter fence, which would then give me a lot more space to to put more veggies and whatever we need to on the outside of the veggie garden. So for me, that's a pretty big project and something I want to get started on soon. When we start on the driveway, I'm going to see if my mate who's doing it, once he's got the digger, to see if he can dig out like a space for me to put the raised garden beds in, so I'm not dealing with the slope here. He can dig it out and I can make it straight. It'll look a lot nicer and be a lot easier for me to build. So that's my plans there. Tell me what your thoughts are. I would also love to put a greenhouse in somewhere. Not sure if I put it kind of in this area. There is quite a lot of space to be able to do it still, or if I put it up here a little bit more. I'm not sure. Obviously not something we're going to rush into. That's my plans for the veggie garden. Let me know what you think, your thoughts. That's been a few comments from people anyway, is to extend it out to here, more or less doubling the size of what we have now. We have a lot of hares and wallabies, as you've probably seen. So they will definitely get in and eat a lot of the produce that we're trying to that we're going to be trying to grow. I do have more space on this side as well. There's more space available to go this way as well if I needed to, but I also need to keep in mind access with the ride-on mower up to the back here. Over the last few videos we've done a fair bit with the chicken coop, but let's quickly show you if you're the first time here on the channel. So we've got this front section which we haven't really used yet, so we've still got plenty more chickens we can add, or anything else we want to add in. You can see the chickens at the front there. So it's just a space we haven't really touched yet, and it's separate to the rest of the coop. But we've actually added more chickens since our first chicken episode. So I'll also show you the transformation of this space here, which is quite drastic. But coming in, we've since divided the chicken coop into 2 areas because we've got some different chickens now. So these are our first rescue chickens, which have adjusted really well. Still got to fix this up a little bit because of us recently only just adding these new chickens. You can see here. So these are Isa Browns, rescue chickens. We rescued those from a chicken farmer, which would just discard of them once they've kind of finished with them. They're 14 months old and they've already been laying eggs, which is great. Got lots of birds that come and say hello in here. But these are called gold-laced Wyandottes. They're quite beautiful. These girls are 14 weeks, I believe. And we've got a rooster, a gold-laced Wyandotte rooster on its way. So we're going to see if we can breed some more. These were hard to get and quite expensive, so you can see like bits of green through their coat as well. And then they've got this side of the chicken coop for now. Again, we'll make this nicer for them, but it's kind of what we have at the moment. So I think since getting the Wyandottes, they've shown, because they were together initially for the first few days, they've shown the rescue chickens kind of what chickens do. And since bringing them in, they've been heaps more active outside and pecking and eating grass and everything else that normal chickens eat. Coming up from the chicken coop again, you'll see this pathway, and then just next to it is a pathway that goes up to our first deck, which I guess is a front door. But then we also have a dedicated garden, veggie garden water tank, water storage. It's really good. I do have to get a pump sorted, just a cheap pump for that, and a hose to go straight out to the garden there. And we also have this cool rock feature with a fire pit. My first cooking episode, which I did a pumpkin soup on this fire pit, which was delicious. But we've used this a couple times now. It's just a really good space, and it's sheltered from the wind there as well more, which is cool. And then next to it, we have this like old but handy outside sink. We've got this little shed here, which is inside the chicken coop, and we keep all the feed for them and any other gear for the chicken coop. More fruit trees here, which is awesome. Got this big, awesome lemon tree here that's just got these monster lemons on them. There's no shortage of lemons on this tree. We need to do a better job of using the lemons. Another mulberry tree. I think we have 3. And this is another citrus tree. We haven't seen any fruit on it yet. And then another mulberry tree. But I really want to clear this side of the fence because, as you can see, this is our main deck that we spent a lot of time out on, and this is our main view. So now we're heading towards that front deck again. We've got stairs leading up to it. We haven't done much out here, if we haven't done anything to be honest, but it's a really big nice space. A little bit cold of a winter because it doesn't get too much sun, just the orientation of it, but you can see the view out here is just so beautiful. What would you do out here? So now coming back up the driveway to the front of the house, you can see that is the deck we were just on. And then you've got visitor car park spaces here. We're hoping to cover this with the same driveway material, so this is all nice and easy to access. And then coming around to the carport and the side of the house, so that's one of our water tanks. You see we've already, I might do a before and after here. We've cleared up this space a lot. A lot more open. We chopped down a lot of branches and trees and shrubs in here and really open the space up. Coming towards the side, and then we've got this double carport, but because of the condition of the driveway, you can see it's quite steep there and rutted out. We can only really get one car in there at the moment. We now have access all the way to the back, which is really handy. So you can see this is our other water tank. I've discovered a hidden footpath that goes up to the back as well. Heaps of stakes left behind. You can see I've cut in and got a path, so I've been driving my ride on up here. Got some more wood that I need to start drying out, but then that is access all the way to the back, which is fabulous. So off the carport we have steps leading up into the shed and access to around the house. I love my shed, let's look at that in a second. But under the house we have awesome storage. You can see this thing is amazing. I got this trailer for my ride on. My ride on is amazing, I love that. But then we've got all like, there's been just timber and stuff left around. A lot of stuff had been left here, which is great, and we've been using it to do stuff around the property. But all under the house, the kids love it under here. Mindful of snakes and stuff. That's our water filter system. So from both tanks it feeds into this triple filter system and then UV. So it just cleans all of the water, and any water going into the house is completely clean and safe to drink. Also got other stairs under here to get up there. Shed. All this lighting's making the camera go a bit weird. Excuse the mess in here, but with everything going on, it's just been a bit of a dumping ground. We have some awesome plans for the shed. I want to keep this front section because there's two areas here. I want to keep this front section functionally how it kind of is now, just looking nicer. So a shed, place to do work and get stuff done, hold all the tools and a bit of a workshop. But then I'd love to create this room here as, let's have a look. It's messy, so bear with it. A home office, some office for my work. We've got a fridge, we've got workout gear in here. We've got just more storage. But ideally, what I'd love for it to be is just a really creative space for me and my work. So then coming out from the shed, we have stairs that come up to the back deck. So now heading into the deck, the main deck, which we spent a lot of time in. So overlooks the back of the property. Wood fire that we found in the shed. Plenty of fires out here. And then there's this like really cool, needs to be fixed up a bit, but rock feature, like a retaining wall / seating that carries on throughout the property. A lot of mornings, Jade will sit there, I'll sit there, drink our coffee and listen to the birds. Do that most mornings actually. And it opens out obviously to the back. Now the back is surprisingly a lot bigger than you think, which we'll go walk through. Like I said, there's things that we want to do here. We don't like the colour, repaint everything. We don't like the red house. I mean, it's got a lot of character, but you know, we want to paint it like a grey and white perhaps. Let me know your ideas and thoughts on colour. What would you paint it? The deck, we knew when buying it was in rough shape, so it's something we're going to completely replace with either hardwood or composite. So you can see like places where my foot's completely fallen through the decking. So all this needs to be replaced. Now coming up from the deck, there's this, you can see the retaining wall here. It's a concrete pad. We spend a lot of time up here as well, but you can see a lot of clearing is needed. I'm really excited to do, like I said before, this whole borderline of the fence. But let's have a look up here. I think once upon a time, up here was a really big aviary. It's a bit of a weird space, but I'd love to get your thoughts on what you would do up here. Thought of a greenhouse, you know, perhaps at the back of it. Up here, in between the retaining wall and the concrete pad, it's a great space for planting gardens, veggies, etc. What would you plant up here? So really good height to garden from this side. It comes up to my waist when I stand up to it. So I'm really excited to clear all this. As you can see, it's just all weeds, and get planting in here, as well as going crazy on that and cutting it right back. It's going to really open up the space. So another idea we had was to put like a pool here So it kind of comes up, it could be like above ground pool, but then because of the height difference, it's basically an in-ground. So now next to this is, I'll do a before and after just now of what we've already done here. There was this big eyesore tree there, it was taking up a lot of space, and it was like alive and dead at the same time. So we've cleared all of that, but we want to make this a play area for the kids. To have like a jungle gym, monkey bars, like all that sort of stuff, cubby house and stuff. So I've got some clearing to do here. There is a random bathtub in the ground. I don't know if this is like a pond, makeshift pond or something. There's tadpoles and stuff in there, but I definitely want to remove this. So now we have this space in between the shed, the water tank, and another shed that we have. You would have seen in other videos of me finding random stuff in here. So I do need to clean it out properly and organise it a lot better. Between here, there's, I think these are called agapanthus, right? There's old bricks, there's just random stuff here. So I'm going to clear this very soon. As you can see, tree stumps in here. So this could potentially be a spot for another water tank, or the wood storage to dry out wood. But I'm going to open this out, clear it up. So coming towards the back of the property, again we've got more fruit trees out here. Kind of try and scan around. Got some big trees. We've got a lot of trees that we're going to clear up. There's some beautiful big trees in here as well. That's another lemon tree. And out here I'll do another before and after, but you can see I've already done a fair bit of clearing. Looks nice, much nicer. I'm going to repurpose this and plant it, put it into the ground and make it like a really nice seeding area. And I'm going to plant either grapes or vines or whatever up it and make it a bit of like a growing, living shelter. What would you plant in there? We're being told that this could potentially be another avocado tree that's been grafted or something. So interested to see if anything comes of that. Some more timber that I need to dry out. We've got some banana trees here that I do need to take care of. I need to cut away all of the older stuff. But we've got quite a lot of bananas growing. But then our boundary is here and it kind of goes towards a little bit of a point. The back fence is in those trees there and then pushes out maybe about 20 meters out that way. So as you can see, standing in the back corner, there's a lot of clearing that we plan on doing still. Obviously can't get rid of the massive trees, but all of the thin stuff and all the shrubs, I think this would just be, so I've almost got, it feels like kind of tropical because you've got the banana trees up here at the back, and then at the front of the property kind of feels like farmy. So it's like a really nice contrast out here. Welcome to my crib. Come on inside. Before we go inside, Jade really didn't want me to show anyone inside, but I've told her that it's like a stamp-in time. We're not saying that this is the house finished, but this is just where it is now. We've been in here a little bit over 2 months, so it's already a lot better than what it was. Come in. The house is like 3 levels. So when you walk in from that first deck that I showed you, It's like a lower level, which we'll go in and show you after. But then if you enter from the backyard, it's the ground level. So when we first looked at this, from the outside, it's obviously just an older farmhouse. And then when I walked inside, I was like, it really caught me by surprise, like how nice it is. It's not the nicest house, but I think it's really lovely, like especially the kitchen space. You stand out here, you look out in the view, it's really nice. You can see the kids playing. And then when we first moved in, it honestly feels like we've only really got the place like clean now. It's like taken 2 months to clean this place. We had Jade's 2 sisters, her 2 nieces, and a professional cleaner here for like 3 days, just doing the kitchen and the bathroom and stuff. So it was pretty full on, but I think it's come up pretty nice. So this is the kitchen. So you come down the stairs, there's the main lounge room. So you can see this lounge here, hopefully will go in the office like I told you with the shed, and we're going to put the fireplace back in. For some reason there was a fireplace here, not sure when. We'll see upstairs, you'll be able to see the flue, but you can see here in the floor it's kind of cut out. We'll put a fireplace back in because it's been freezing in winter, and that'll be just really nice to kind of sit and watch the fireplace. But then you can see, when you're sitting out here, you can see the view from the windows. And then come upstairs. Jay, don't look at my bum. So coming upstairs, there's a little toilet in here.
The lid should be down.
That was the kids, obviously. And then there's like another lounge room. So this is like a kids' playroom. Again, this will be gone. We're just trying to sort things out, but you can see the chimney. That'll be the fireplace coming up, obviously. So all this will be gone. And then we've got yet another deck. So there's actually a beautiful view out there. We'll go out there in a sec. Just a really nice seating area. And then coming out here, we haven't really been out here too much yet.
Hello.
So that is the first property tour that I've done. I wish I did it 2 months ago when we actually moved here, but before we get more work done, I wanted to show everyone what the property is and where we are at this stage. And then I'll hope to do more of these and we can really get to see the transformation and the journey. Hope you liked it. Like I said, give me any tips or advice or ideas that you have. Would love to hear them. What would you do with certain spaces? What would you do with the garden behind me here? Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next video.